semen retention and female attraction. See, this is something that I noticed big time when I started in my 20s. So I understand if you're in your 20s and this is a big deal. This is a big perk, you know, especially if you haven't been getting it in your life. And then all of a sudden you start practicing semen retention. You're like, whoa, this feels good. Especially if you have a deficit of female energy, or your relationship with your mother was never really so loving and nurturing. So I understand all that. But it's like, what are you going to do though? I'll put it like this. I went to Brazil when I was about 23 or so, and I was living in LA before that. I mean, I got some attention. I was playing the Hollywood actor game and all that stuff. And but I mean, I wasn't a celebrity, right? But when I went to Brazil, I felt like a celebrity. This is what I'm trying to say. And it was such a contrast. I mean, it was a total 180 in the amount of attention I got from women when I was in Brazil. And I was living in a smaller village. All these countries I've traveled. I've been to over 20 countries looking for cures and answers. I'm not a tourist, but whenever I go to these countries, I usually go off the grid because that's where the things that I was looking for are. And so I was in a place called Abidjan in Brazil. There's a healer there named John of God. Some of you probably know. But the village itself is really small. And so I was around all these seemingly innocent young women, and I was a foreigner, and they weren't used to seeing a lot of Americans. And so, man, I got a lot of attention. And they didn't, because they're the village type, they didn't know how to play games. They weren't like, you know, I'm going to give you attention and look away or something. No, they just gave it all up. They're like, with their eyes and energy, it's like, I like you. And so, wow, I didn't want to leave. And here's what happened though. It made me so restless inside because I couldn't get enough. You see, I couldn't get enough attention. And I realized, I said, man, even if this whole planet of women, let's say 4 billion women, if they were all giving me attention, it wouldn't be enough. I'd even be more restless. I'd have to go conquer Mars or somewhere, and because there's not enough. There's not enough on that level. When I'm drinking from that level of these dopamine hits, which is what I got from, is that's what we get, you know, when we get this female attention. All it does is make me more of a dopamine addict, and that was the problem. But it was also the solution because I saw through it. I hit bottom with it at some point. Now the main point, though, I want to make is, ironically, it's like people are talking about how semen retention will get you more female attention. And here's the part, though. If that's really what you're doing it for, if when women look at you, if you feel something inside, like say, oh yeah, this is good, that means you're not balanced. That means you're addicted to this female attention, or these dopamine hits, or these hits of validation. So what will happen, because this will cause restlessness inside, at some point I'm going to relapse again. I'm going to go masturbate, or I'm going to look at porn, or I'm going to get deeper into lust. I'm going to go after more and more attention. That's what I did when I was in Brazil, also India. And what happens is it keeps activating this sexual energy. It's keeping it stuck in the sex center. Instead of, if I'm not doing that, the energy will start to flow automatically. It'll just start flowing through my whole energy system. We don't need to pay people money to learn how to sublimate the energy and all this stuff. This happens automatically. So when that's not happening though, because I'm acting out still and lustful, addicted behavior, then the energy is going to get stuck down there, and at some point, it's like the pressure gets too much, and I'm going to have to let it out. I see this over and over and over and over and over again with people who call me, and I understand it. I totally understand it because I did the same thing, So what do we do then? How do you overcome such deep habitual tendencies, See, the problem is we have the software. It's part of the deal for being human. It's part of the tax that the Creator puts this software in human beings. And for the man, the software is being drawn to women, attracted to women. And for women, it's more like they need the man in order to get pregnant, generally speaking. So how to transcend that software, especially when we think this is who we are? See, people take this just to be who we are. They say, I'm a man. I'm attracted to women. This is what I do. I'm going to look and I'm going to enjoy and I'm going to have sex. And yeah, okay, I know. Yeah, no problem. Do it. But I'm talking to those who sense that this is a burden. You see, at some point this will become a burden, and you want to get past this. You want to be free of this because it blocks you from expressing your fullest version of yourself. It's the problem. So, the thing to do, and see, this relates back to a spiritual practice. When we have a spiritual practice, the whole purpose of a spiritual practice, a real spiritual practice, is to recognize who we are beyond this body, beyond this human form. Okay? That's the only way to transcend this software. It's not that we get older and then, we just become free of it. I used to think that, but it's not the case. I remember, this image can't get out of my mind. I was in Florida and I was in an elevator, and my friend's father was in the elevator with me. A young, cute girl walked in, and this is a successful businessman, plenty of money, family, etc. When this girl walked in, this guy was throwing off his whole center. He just kept, he couldn't not look at her in lust. He just kept looking, He's trying not to look, but he keeps looking, keeps looking. So this stuff doesn't go away. Now, let me take a chance, a risk, and go even further and tell you that if we don't transcend this in this life, this will bring us back into another body with the same tendency again, and we're going to have to go through this shit all over again. Okay, so it's important, if you have the desire in you, if there's something awake enough in you to know that this is something that needs to be transcended, then congratulations, and you need to do it. Don't waste your time. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's not too early to start. I was in Thailand, and this guy had to be 70 or 80, and he's on the beach. Everybody, that's like the sex tourism, capital of the world, Thailand, Cambodia. And this guy's on the beach, and he has two young Thai girls helping him walk. He couldn't even walk, left to his own health. He needed help. and I've seen other examples of this, but the point is, this craving and lust, it lives in the mind. It doesn't matter, you can be old, you're impotent, nothing works anymore, you're still going to carry this seed of lust, and it's still going to be in your mind, working. Even here, and it's happened a couple times with older women, 60s, 70s, here in Ecuador. And I felt like they were working me a little bit, And at first I just kind of brushed it off. I'm like, she can't be. She's 70 years old. But then I realized, I said, no, it's no different. Women, men, if this seed hasn't been roasted, if you haven't transcended it, it's still going to be alive and play. And so we really need to be free of this. And then you watch your whole life unfold in a really beautiful way, because this lust principle, this whole sexual instinct, is such a burden for most people. It just totally, directly or indirectly affects their whole life, their decisions, everything. And so when you're free of that, all of a sudden you start to realize, you can say, like, your deeper purpose, your interactions with people and stuff changes, and you start to embody a peace that there's no way you can have when we're being plagued with the sexual instinct and all of its ridiculous habits that come with it. So what do? First thing, if you're in the stage, you see, I have people that call me, they're in their 20s. Sometimes I tell them, sometimes you just got to let this thing play out. It wasn't until I was basically 40 to where I really, really became free of this. Before then, I was still playing. I wasn't masturbating or that so much. It was more the lust, the hits, the need, the desire for attention, the tendency to objectify women when I saw them on the street or have sexual fantasies. It's subtle. It's not like I was 24/7, but it was there. And so how do you be free of that when you're in your 20s? If you're really, really ready to be free, grace will help you and you'll be free. But if you have reservations inside to where you're still enjoying this and you still want to, you want to get a hit of this and that, then what can you do? This is the karma. You have to let that play out. But for those who really want to be free, and even if you're letting that play out, you still stay as vigilant as you can in transcending it. Don't give up. It's okay. It's not a big deal. You relapse, you come back, you get some time together, you relapse again. It's okay. It's part of the thing. That's what I did. But if you're really wanting to be free of this and you're ready, keyword, ready, you've tasted this enough to where you're like, yeah, this is just nonsense, man. I really want to be free of this. In something inside you, when you ask something that's beyond your human mind and human power, help me be free, you're going to get some power. You're going to get some help. And then you spend your time and attention, instead of lusting and acting out, you spend it instead focusing on these principles that I'm talking in the videos. Focus on, just eating clean and proper exercise and being in nature and surrounding yourself around others who are on the same page as you, and you motivate each other and you empower each other and you share your experiences of how this is really good, and share your miracles of like, look, since I've been doing this is what happened. This would never happen if I wasn't doing semen retention. And then this empowers you, and you channel this sexual energy. You get involved in some kind of benevolent service. You get out of being so self-absorbed and start trying to help people with this God-given energy you have. You see? This transmutes the sexual energy. It makes it so it's not so stuck down here, and it starts to flow, you see, because you're expressing. If you let that stuff just stay inside you and you just sit in your room, it's going to kill you from the inside out. Or you're going to have to act out in some habit, or you're going to go on the internet and you're going to look at some things that it's no good, because that's also a way of channeling the energy. It's just a negative way. So this is important. See, this is the thing that helped me too. I would put some time together. I would have some quality. My character was improving. I was emanating a positive, authentic energy. I wasn't, lusting after girls. I was getting this inner shine, this inner glow. And you know what I would do? The ego, or the mind, or the sex lust habit, it would take this energy and it would start talking to me. It would try to use this energy for its own negative purpose. This is the play, though, of life. You got to understand. There's all kinds of cartoons and stories where the devil's here and the angel's here, and it's like, which way are you going to go? It's a good metaphor. So the mind would be like, look, man, you got some charisma now. You're flying high. Let's go have some fun. Let's use this to get some female attention. You see, it's fun. Why not? you're a guy, or that's a girl, she likes it, you like it, sounds really innocent and fun. Yeah, let's just do it a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. That's the quickest way to kill this inner shine. That it would happen to me so much. I would build up this spiritual power, and then I'd go piss it away. I'd waste it, and then I would look in the mirror. I could just see it. My aura was more dim. My eyes were more just heavy. I wasn't beaming anymore. I lost my spontaneous flow. When I talk, and just the natural, just energetic, happy, spontaneous being, that's attractive. See, I would lose that because I would screw around, and I would start to indulge in some, you can say, lower vibrational behaviors, and next thing you know, it's burned up. Then I'd have to work hard to get it back, and then I'd lose it again. And you know what happened? This is what changed me. I realized through God's grace, wisdom, I accessed some wisdom. Every time I would piss it away and lose it, it would be harder to get back. So you know what the lesson was? Is when that returns via right action and not indulging in these habits, when this inner stability and tranquility and peace, when that returns, and then the light that shines from that, I would honor it and be grateful for it and protect it. You see, I didn't want, and the mind couldn't get me then. You see, it would come, hey, let's go. I said, man, I've heard you 100 times. I'm not listening anymore. Go talk to somebody else, And then it stays, and then it grows. You see, this is the thing. It never stops growing. You just keep getting better and better and more balanced and more peaceful and more charisma and more light, and there's no end to it. So this is the real benefits of semen retention. The female attraction thing. Don't focus on that so much. That's gonna be your downfall. So you have to realize that something needs to listen. Are these words really applying to you? And leave any questions or comments you have, or any struggles, and then we'll address them. I want to make a Q&A video when I get some good questions. I have a couple already. I'm just waiting to get some more. And then when you're not in that lust mode, you'll start to attract healthy communication and communion between the opposite sex. And it's great. It's a great dance in exchange of energy between female and male, because we're half of the whole. I'm a guy. I predominate in male energy. I also have feminine energy, and I'm also aware of that, but predominantly I'm a man. And the same with the woman. She predominates in female energy. And you can say it's like she majors in feminine and minors in masculine, and vice versa with a man. So then when man and woman meet, talk, just share each other's vibe, it feels good. That's why it feels good. Something feels more whole and complete, But don't go looking for it. It's not necessary. You don't need that to be happy. I'm just saying why it feels good. It's like a bonus for being here. It's cool. And when we're not stuck in lust, we can attract a higher vibrational being. And I'm telling you, you don't need any physical intimacy. It can be there if that's the divine unfoldment in the moment, but it won't be because you personally are trying to make it happen or desire it. Because you become satisfied with just talking and really being present for one another. This is for me is enough of an exchange of energy, and it's great. And then you don't have all the drama either, right? You're just enjoying like that. So I hope you got something from that, and I just kind of wanted to debunk this, idea that the female energy, the female attention is somehow one of the main goals of semen retention. It's not, it's not. Okay, you have yourself a good day, and I'm going to talk to you soon. See you.